Hey, what's up everyone? Sim Sensei here, and yes, I know, it's been a long while since our last video, and this one is going to be a short one. I'm going to walk you guys through some of my configs, and walk you guys through how you can reduce shake that you may see on your screen. I lately see a lot of comments of people being like, hey, it shakes a lot, my screen jitters a lot, and people do not really know what's going on. I have addressed this in earlier videos, but I guess, it's a long watch, it takes time, so we're going to go through that right now. Let's just directly dive in. This is going to be a completely unscripted video, no editing, no time that's being put into making this all look good. I just want to walk you guys through it and go from there. As of right now, we are on the Battlefield 6 config. This is a new upcoming config that is going to release pretty soon, and I'm going to walk you guys through it here as well as on some of the other configs. Let's edit the config. Let's go all the way to the right. And in here we see a lot of actions. You can see that I've gotten quite a couple binds going. And each of those binds you can call shake, and some don't. As an example, the way that I play Battlefield 6, I have no shake. But it may be that you experience some. So we're going to look at a couple binds that can cause shake. Let's go all the way down. And let's look for a bind that has this little icon on the left. It's an arrow pointing up, a little line above it. This means that it is an unheld action. If we click on it, we can also see that below the icon, we have that same thing. And if we click on it and we look at it, we can see it's unheld. What this is going to do, it's going to take a value of 12% on the left stick. Then it's going to move 90 degrees. And it takes a value of 13% up on the left stick. It waits 15 milliseconds. And it does kind of the same thing for a bunch of other angles. Now, this is of course a left stick booster. This is going to move the character a tiny bit to introduce better aim assist and get things going. In Battlefield, the aim assist is really in the movement, not in the aiming. But if we scroll up in the Battlefield config and we look for binds like these, we see the same kind of thing, only now this is happening for users that are using the aim button, and this is a right stick booster. Now, a bit confusing. Let's go to a different example. Let's load a configuration. You're going to see a lot, as we have gotten Fortnite coming, we've gotten an Overwatch config coming, even a Borderlands config. But for now, we're going to have a look at the upcoming Apex Legends configuration. If we edit this configuration, which I play with on PlayStation, I want to address a couple things. I myself play with 30,000 DPI. Now, you've probably heard the story, high DPI is the best, and I would say that is true. It feels much more natural as a mouse and keyboard player. It feels much more like I have a normal mouse sense. But there's still limitations. But at the same time, I used to play at 800 DPI, so people know. But the higher you put your DPI, the more shake there's going to be as well. What we specifically want to look at is, outside all of these rumbles, at the bottom, we are going to find a similar unheld booster. This booster is active whenever we move. I have it on inactive because I've realized that, shake is annoying. But we're going to address a couple things. Let's say you're experiencing a lot of shake as of right now. Screen is shaking, you don't like it, it is very annoying. I get that. There's only two things in this booster that you have to change to reduce shake. First of all, the bigger the timer, so the more milliseconds there are on the timer, the more it's going to shake. So the more shake you're going to see. I believe in the configuration that is out there currently for Apex Legends, so not this one, but the ones that are currently there. We're talking about boosters with 3 ms, 5 ms, 10 ms, maybe even 15 ms of a timer. That's annoying. At the same time, this value can be either very high or very low. What you're going to keep in mind is the lower you make these timers, the smaller the jitter is going to be. There is still going to be jitter, but the jitter is going to be much less than it will be for someone that is playing with a really high jitter. The second value that you need to keep in mind is this red thing. This is called the magnitude. If we go down, we can see that we have an aim magnitude and an angle. The only two we're interested in is weight and aim magnitude. And higher magnitude is just simply going to make the experience stronger. But a higher millisecond is going to make the motion through each thing bigger. So if you're going in a perfect circle like this is doing, the strength and the weight that's put to that motion is going to be stronger on a higher millisecond than it will be at a lower millisecond. What I found out, which is the easiest and the most favorable for me, someone who plays Apex Legends on the PlayStation 5, plays with no dead zone at all. For me, it is the nicest to have this specifically at 3 milliseconds, 6.5, and that is basically barely any visible shake. Now I want to put out a couple important things. If you don't like the shake, you can simply make binds where you see the angle and the 45 degree, like these kind of turns. You just click on this and you make them inactive. Important though, if you see binds here that state a certain name like the R99, these are recalls, you don't touch these. Another type of bind that you might will see, we will make it quickly, is on the left mouse button, you might see a bind like this. These are universal recall patterns. You don't touch these either. You disable those, you will have no recall assistance anymore. So keep those in mind. If we go back and we go all the way back down and we go here and we go back to this bind, just keep in mind the lower you put this value, the less shake there's going to be. But there's one really important thing to keep in mind. The weaker you make that overall strength, the overall jitter, the weaker the aim assist is going to behave. What an unhelped booster is going to do, it's going to allow you to see the aim move whenever something is passing by. Let's say an enemy is strafing in the firing range, a dummy or your teammate. The little strafing will be automatically tracked. But the moment you disable such a bind, that ain't gonna happen anymore. The moment you make the jitter less, it may also be that it won't follow anymore. That's basically due to how games work. It has to be at a certain strength, and usually that will cause jitter. But outside of this, you know how it works. Let's look at one more other config that has such a same booster, or let's look at two. We got the Fortnite config. This is upcoming. This is still a work in progress, so none of this is going to be in here. This is stuff that a good friend of mine, Dalen, showed me. But a couple examples here, we will find a aim booster. This is probably something you might find in the current Apex Legends config. A high millisecond, a low strength and low magnitude. Again here, real simple, go through all of these timers and change them to a value like 5, 3, 4. Play around with them and play around with the direct magnitude. We also see the booster here. I specifically choose to boost in Fortnite on ADS only, since you are often holding down your left mouse button or your right trigger to heal. So in such types of situations, you don't want to have your aim move down. In this configuration, we also find a couple boosters here. Again, play around with the values. If we look at one more final config, by the way, you can see here at the bottom as well, all these unhelds, they're again, right? These are going to cause those things to happen. I want to address one more elephant in the room. And this is specifically related to the Marvel Rifles guys. Marvel Rifles people also report some shake. And whether, well, that's for some worse than for others. Here again, we can see I've tuned these 5 milliseconds. 1, you play around, lower this, the shake, the heaviness of the shake will become less, but you might have to increase this for the aim to still work. And again, at the bottom, we will find the same types of unhelds. A left stick booster, which is very strong. Again, play around with that. And we've got a right stick booster. Just to put it down here, people might be confused about how things work. It's, by the way, good that I see this myself right now, as we got a double bind that we can remove. But overall, these type of binds get questioned a lot. Do we have analog movement? This is my own way to analog movement. I'm not saying it's working, but that's how it works. Anyways, I hope that this little video showed you guys how everything is working, what you have to do, and how things are essentially working. And yeah, with all of that, I hope you guys have fun. And yeah, I hope this was of help. I will have this video up on all the configurations so you can have a look at it and see if it's good for you or if it's going to have you struggle. Anyways, I hope that it's going to help you adjust your orbital aim assist, know what a recoil booster is, and ensure that for those that want to have less shake, there is less shake.